Oh, I just hit spacebar on the wrong PC. I'm such a dunce. Okay. Is that it? That's it. And it says there's going to be a series of hands-on events all over the world. All right. Okay. So, what are my thoughts? Okay. Man, let me go ahead and give you my thoughts because actually I have a lot of thoughts right now. Oops. So here's, oh God, it's too red. Okay, that's better. So here's my thoughts. Okay. That didn't tell us much at all, did it? It didn't show us the power of the console. It didn't say any of the specs. It didn't have pricing. It didn't say if there's different models, no release date. All we know is we have to wait until April to get more information. All it was a, hey, it exists. All right. Why do I think they just did that? Because it leaked. That's why. Because it leaked. If it didn't leaked, okay, if it didn't leak, I don't think they would have done this at all. I think they would have just waited till April. But for those who don't know, the Consumer Electronics Show just happened. And at the Consumer Electronics Show, there was a certain company. I think they were called Genki or Geki, and they are a third-party accessories company. And for some reason, they had a Switch 2 because they were showing off their accessories for the Switch 2, but they actually had the Switch 2. So everyone went to their booth and was like, wait, how do you have this? They're like, yeah, because we're designing accessories for it. Here it is. And everyone was like, well, this is real? And they're like, yeah, this is the real console. Huh? But Nintendo didn't show it yet. Yeah, here it is. So then, if you didn't know, Nintendo lawyers went over to this booth and said to them, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? We didn't even reveal it yet. And they're like, because we're not under any non-disclosure agreement to not say anything about the Switch 2. You never signed us to one. So we'll do whatever we want. Have a nice day. And they sent them on their merry way, and Nintendo basically running away with their tail between their legs because they didn't have a legal leg to stand on to stop this company from showing off the Switch 2. So, man, I mean, pretty sad that Nintendo has kind of like, lost their power in this regard, that they basically got completely spoiled. Now, here's the thing. I didn't pay attention to any of the spoilers because you never know if it's real or not. Well, now it's basically confirmed because this Switch 2 that we just saw looks exactly like what was leaked at CES. It looks exactly the same. So it's dead on correct. They showed the real Switch 2, or even if it wasn't a real operating model, what they showed was representative of the hardware of the Switch 2. Okay? Now, from what I just saw, initially, my first impression, you're probably not going to like it, okay? But I'm going to be honest with all of you, okay? I want you to look at every major console that Nintendo has come out with in history, okay? The Famicom, home console, revolutionary controller concept, great graphics for the time. Super Nintendo added way better technology and graphics. Controllers that added shoulder buttons and a ton more control to your games. Revolutionary concept. Nintendo 64, again, a jumping graphical capability and a controller that had a thumbstick as the very first thing, which no other controller had at the time. It was revolutionary. Again, blowing your mind that this controller concept would be the future. GameCube, admittedly, kind of a misstep, I feel, but the GameCube being more of a kitty-looking console with a controller with giant buttons, but it was portable, right? It was a different kind of console for the time, but it still was different. The Wii, motion controls, revolutionizing the gaming industry, okay? The Wii U, admittedly another misstep for Nintendo. I don't think anyone cared for the ginormous controller with a screen on it, but they at least were trying to innovate in some way and add something creative and different. The Switch, turning your home console into a hybrid portable console that also had motion controls and all the things that they had innovated previously all in one. Okay? So that's the history of Nintendo consoles. Now, of course, I'm leaving out Game Boy and stuff like that, but you see what I'm saying. Every console attempted to innovate. Switch 2. Hold on. I'm trying to find the picture of it together. Here it is. Switch 2. Hmm. Do you see a little difference here? Do you see possibly a problem or a big omission? Can you please tell me what on the Switch 2 is revolutionary? What new concept Nintendo has added? What new groundbreaking thing Nintendo is trying to do with this console? It's just another Switch. I mean, they don't even need to call it the Switch 2. They already had the Switch OLED. They might as well call it the Switch OLED 2 or the Switch Max or the Switch Pro. What was it that they called the Game Boy Advance, the big one? XL, Switch XL, right? But it's just Switch 2. It's not, they didn't add anything. And every single other major console they have. This may be the first time ever in Nintendo's history they decided to not add an innovation to their new console. They're just improving upon the previous console. Okay? Now, here's the thing. If this console has a much improved graphical engine / better GPU, if it has way more storage, if it has all the features of a modern console, I don't think anyone will actually care. If this console is just, it's way better than the Switch, we finally caught up with everybody else, and now you can play first-party Nintendo games with groundbreaking performance and graphics, 24-player Mario Kart, you know what I mean? I don't think anyone will care. But if they play the game of, well, we're not competing with anyone else, so we can have a console that's two consoles outdated when it comes to its power, people are going to say, okay, well, that's fine. Well, what's the innovation of the console? What's the gimmick this time? And they're going to be like, what do you mean? Well, every time there's a console, the reason that we accept the fact that Nintendo consoles are underpowered is because there's a neat gimmick that makes it fun to play. So what's your gimmick? They don't have one. From what we could see, there's nothing on this whatsoever to be revolutionary. In fact, they're still using cartridges. So doesn't that mean that this is going to severely limit the size of games that's on it? They're not using Blu-ray discs or whatever. Now, yes, they're using downloads, but I feel like this may have a problem. This may be, again, the first time in the entire console history of Nintendo they're not innovating. And will the market bear a console that is underpowered but doesn't have a gimmick to hook you? I don't know. I do believe that every Nintendo fan will run out and buy one in droves. They'll buy every game, every accessory, everything for it. That always happens at launch. That, you know, for me, do I want it? Yes. Why? I love first-party Nintendo games. Those are my favorite things about these Nintendo consoles. I'm craving a new Mario. I'm craving a new Mario Kart. I'm craving all of these games, and I would love to play this on my new setup, showing you exactly what this looks like, because you know this probably won't do 4K, right? What do you think? Actually, that's an interesting question. How many people actually think that the Switch 2 will do 4K? I wonder. I really wonder. Because I'm not sold that they're going to go for 4K. You know, being honest, we don't know yet. We don't know. There's no information yet. I would say 1440p. I don't know about 4K. So, you know, it's going to be limited. But I'd love to cover the games for you guys in whatever the best quality I can. You know, I could do 1440p, 60 frames. That's going to be awesome to actually represent these games as good as they can be on launch day. I hope I can get it. You remember what happened with the Switch, don't you? So I pre-ordered the Switch at Best Buy. On launch day, Best Buy delivered it to my home. I hooked it up. We downloaded or we got Tears of the Kingdom on it. No, excuse me, Breath of the Wild on it as a launch title. And we had it all set up that night. We unboxed it. We hooked it up. Everything was good. No problems. It charged overnight. Next day we went to turn it on. Bricked. It bricked. And then I couldn't get a Switch for like 3-4 more months because they were out of stock everywhere, sold out. So I hope that they will be able to live up to demand. From what I read this morning, Nintendo is trying to give something like 20 million, I believe is the number. They're trying to produce 20 million consoles in the first year. So I hope that's true. I hope that they are able to produce 20 million consoles the first year, because it would suck if there's a drought and no one can get it. obviously I want it. Okay, I do. I want it at launch. I want to cover it for you guys. I want to play all the big games. It would be great. We haven't done a console launch in many years, so it would be hype. It would be something hype for 2025 for sure. But like I said, we don't know anything yet. So let's play casual optimist. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to get hype. I'm not. Okay. I'm going to be real and I'm going to wait, bide my time and see what more information releases about it. But I'm definitely interested in it. I would like to have it at launch and I would like to cover it for you. Okay. Let's see what happens. But I'll be honest, I don't like the colors. I don't like baby blue and like peach as the colors. Red and blue made sense. Even if it was black and white, that would look sleek. Or gold or silver, that would look sleek. Baby blue and peach is not doing it for me. I don't know why that's the launch colors of the console. Hopefully there's a way to customize that. Maybe day one they'll sell more Joy-Cons that are different colors and everyone will buy the other colors because I don't like that. And of course, you got to ask, there's no D-pad on that Joy-Con. So are they going to sell a Pro controller with a D-pad? Will the D-pad work? What accessories are going to be day one? I'm curious. But anyway, yeah, I am excited. It looks interesting, and I want good first-party games. Many years since I've used my Switch, really, right? Like maybe once a year, I plug the thing in and play something on it. Right now, I gave it to my wife. She's she's actually playing it downstairs. She's been playing Mario Kart and stuff on it. So hopefully, it ends up being good. You know, I'll casual optimism for me moving forward this year after seeing that announced. Fair enough. Okay.